Empathy is what makes you a good friend, a caring partner, a decent human being. It's the part of you that feels what others are feeling. But what if this very strength has a hidden vulnerability? What if it can be used as a weapon against you, Chloe? She's on the phone with a friend who's in a panic. "If you can't watch my dog, I'll have to cancel my entire trip," her friend says. "You're the only one I can trust." Chloe glances at her own overpacked schedule. She's overwhelmed, but the guilt and need to help are even stronger. "Yeah, of course," she says, defeated. "I'll figure it out." She hangs up, feeling used, but blaming herself for feeling that way. Chloe isn't just doing a favor. She's following a deep impulse to alleviate someone else's distress. But she's paying for it with her own well-being. What if her problem isn't too much empathy, but a lack of protection around it? What if you can learn to shield your heart without hardening it? To protect ourselves, we first have to understand the mechanism. This is a specific, exploitative pattern called covert emotional manipulation. Dr. George Simon, a clinical psychologist and expert on manipulative behavior, explains that manipulators use a cycle of exploitation. They identify a need, create a sense of obligation, and then exploit it. Your empathy is the engine that powers this cycle. They present a problem, and your brain's empathy circuitry, particularly the mirror neuron system, lights up. You literally feel their distress. Helping them becomes a way to stop your own discomfort. They are using your own brain's wiring against you. You see this loop everywhere? The family member who's always in a crisis that you have to fix. The colleague who plays the "I'm so overwhelmed" card, so you take on their work. The partner who becomes so visibly wounded after a disagreement that you apologize just to make the silence stop. In each case, your empathy is the hook. Your desire to help is being used as a tool for control. The first crucial tool is the empathy alarm. It's a simple internal check-in. When you feel that pull to help, ask yourself, am I acting out of genuine choice, or am I acting to relieve my own anxiety and guilt? If the primary feeling is dread or resentment before you even say yes, that's your empathy alarm. It's not telling you to be cold. It's telling you that your compassion is being co-opted. So why are some people more vulnerable to this? Research into the dark triad of personality shows that individuals with these traits specifically target people with high levels of empathy. Why? Because you are predictable. They know that by displaying distress, they can trigger your helping response. Your empathy becomes a reliable lever they can pull. As clinical psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula states, narcissists don't have partners, they have an audience. They don't have friends, they have fans and sources of supply. Your emotional energy is that supply. This targeting plays out in stages. First, they idealize your kindness. Then they test you with small requests that cross lines. Finally, they exploit you, using guilt tripping if you hesitate. "I thought you were different." They aren't just asking for help. They are training you. This is where you deploy the compassionate boundary. This isn't a wall, it's a filter. When a request feels exploitative, say calmly, "I understand you're in a tough spot. However, I won't be able to do that for you." That's it. You don't need to over-explain. By acknowledging their situation but holding your line, you're being respectful without being a resource. Knowing the trap is one thing, but how do you deal with the internal guilt? This is where we build lasting resilience. Self-determination theory shows that psychological health is built on autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Exploitation attacks your autonomy, your right to choose. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you weaken your sense of self. Setting boundaries literally rebuilds your neural pathways for autonomy. It tells your brain, "I am in charge of me." Let's return to Chloe. A week later, the same friend calls with another emergency about a car problem. This time, Chloe takes a deep breath and says calmly, "Oh no, that's a really stressful situation. I won't be able to drive you, but I can help you look up a rideshare right now." There's silence on the other end. Chloe feels a pang of guilt, but also a surge of power. She held her ground without abandoning her friend. Your final tool is the guilty to grounded reframe. When you feel post-boundary guilt, actively reframe it. Instead of thinking I'm a bad friend, tell yourself, the feeling of guilt is a sign that I've been conditioned to put others' needs first. Right now, I'm choosing to be a good friend to myself, which allows me to be a healthier friend to others. This isn't a lie, it's the truth. You are breaking harmful conditioning. The guilt is the withdrawal symptom from the drug of approval. Chloe didn't lose her friend. In fact, her friend became more self-reliant. More importantly, Chloe found herself. Let's recap your protection plan. First, understand the empathy exploitation loop and use your empathy alarm. Second, recognize that dark triad personalities target kindness and use compassionate boundaries. Third, fortify your mind by reframing guilt as growth. Your empathy is not a weakness, it's a profound strength. But an unguarded strength is a weakness. A guarded strength is a superpower. You are not being mean, you are being sane. You are not building walls. You are installing a door in your heart, and you are choosing who gets a key. Your mission today is this. Think of one small situation where your empathy feels taken for granted. Maybe a text you feel pressured to answer immediately. Next time, pause and wait 5 minutes before responding. In that small space, you'll feel the first quiet thrill of taking your power back.